I am looking great. I wish I could wear hats. Oh, I'd be like super couch riffs right now. If I could wear this hat. I mean, I can wear a hat. I can put a hat on my head. But see, like, if I do this, that's not the look that I'm going for. It's like, all right, excellent, okay, all right, great. Wayne's World. Oh, this is even better. Sorry, we'll edit all of this out. Oh, yeah. Sully, do you ever think about maybe looking decent for these things? What are you talking about? I look great. Sure you do. All right. Yeah. True. Top of the morning to you. Man, you were super prompt. I like that. That's good. Holy crap. I'm awake this I see, there you go. This is that's great. How do we Here we go. I'm getting the hang of this. um Good morning to you. And see, now here we go. Greetings and salutations. Like in Heather's, greetings and salutations. You know, I was thinking about that movie, Heather's, I don't know, somewhat recently. And I remember reading reading some article about, maybe it was for like I guess it would have to be like the 30th anniversary or 35th anniversary of that movie. Right? Yeah, seems about right. 35 maybe. And, we're talking about, Heather's, and maybe it was an interview with the director who she was watching it with her child, and her child was absolutely horrified because, like, the whole point of that movie, of Heather's, was, it's kind of blowing up a school and, murdering their classmates and making it look like suicides. But like that, for many years, it was like one of my favorite movies, not for that reason, but just because I think that movie was funny. But definitely couldn't make that movie now. And that's not a commentary on, oh, we've gotten all wrong, because that's exhausting. But what's interesting is that for every generation, statements like that are like, oh, things have gotten out of control. I oddly take comfort in the fact that people have been saying, there's always been people that have said that through all of our times, which is kind of interesting. Anyway, that's some Sally's Dumb Heather's perspective for you. But like, I don't know, there are bits in that movie. I mean, I don't know, I like Heather's, but greetings and salutations. But I remember that Christian Slater said that all he did was basically a Jack Nicholson impersonation, which is, yeah, that rings true. Oh, we've got some comments here. It bodes well for me that speed impresses you. Hey, your nice man is ready for paint, which is exciting. Hector, good morning to you. Heidi ho diddly doodly. See, now you're always toast to me, so you have to speak like toast. Yes. Do you guys have you guys seen Toast of London? Young Jim Watkinson here, whose avatar is actor Matt Berry as Stephen Toast. If you like British comedy, I mean, you should. Toast of London, it's just it's the best, and especially if you like other things that Matt Berry has been in. I think the only thing that I haven't seen that Matt Berry's been in, I haven't watched the IT Crowd or the It Crowd. I assume it's IT Crowd. I haven't watched that yet, and I will, because Mrs. Sully and I stumbled onto Richard Ayoade's Travel Man, which is, obviously he's not obviously, but we're some years behind, and I do like Richard Ayoade. Anyway, Toast of London is just so good, and if you like What We Do in the Shadows, Matt Berry is Laszlo, He's basically just doing the Stephen Toast character as a vampire. So there we go. One of my friends had a habit of watching that film after each time she had a breakup. Nice. Yeah, all right. Corn nuts. Stu, greetings to you. People used to say The Warriors was bad, but looks very tame now. Oh my gosh. Yeah, kind of like the evolution of pop culture. Yes, you're nice, man. Can you hear me? Steven, this is Clem Fandango. Can you hear me? Yes, I can hear you, Clem Fandango. And a name like Clem Fandango, you gotta know. It's a great show. Dave, good morning to you. Adam, see, Adam knows what's up. Toast of London is great. Drew, toast is good stuff. Matt Berry being his most Matt Berry. Yep. Oh, okay. IT Crowd is awesome. We gotta watch this. I don't know of Black Books. Was that another Matt Berry thing? Jeff, good morning to you. Oh, it's early. You're in California. It's like 7:20 right now, which makes me think of Entertainment 7:20, which is Parks and Rec. And let's talk about Parks and Recreation now, because that's all we're going to talk about. No, we're not. Mike, good morning to you in Middle Georgia. And the rest of you, wherever you are. Senor Ladrig, hey now. Hey later. Bill Bailey. I don't know who Bill Bailey is, other than Axl Rose. I didn't really have some stuff to talk about. I'll think of some things right now. Last night, if you saw the live stream, I think there's a good chance you didn't, because I don't know, maybe like, I think 8 people saw it, much like now. Oh, there's 14, so we're doing great. Bill is a comedian and stars in Black Books, not a bad series. Okay, I will seek that out. Last night, Adam's band played, so that was good. We went and saw him and the rest of the band, and we had the debut, the maiden voyage of the Astro, our new model, and I gotta say, whenever I get to see Adam's band play, it's always like the high point of my week. That guy's just so good. So good. Frightening. So good. And he's a good performer. We're just going to have an Adam Nana's band gush moment for now. He's a great performer. He's a lot of fun. It's just he's just so good. He's just so good. And so he was, and he's such a good sport too, because, at work, we finished up the Astro a couple weeks ago, maybe last week. God, I don't know. I have no idea. I have no concept of time. It's just gone. It's just been sitting on a stand at the shop, and I'm just like, do you want to take it to rehearsal? You want to play it at your gig? You want to just you want to just take this? And I don't think he was expecting that, but I'm like, if you don't, it's just going to sit here. So take it with you. Good morning, Keith. So he did, and that's great. And then, so they played last night. He played Astro for the first half of the set. He sounded great, like he always does. And that was cool. So, if you missed that, which there's a great chance that you did, it's not your fault. I live streamed the first two songs of his set, so you can watch it. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I don't I don't really set out to make new models. At times, I think maybe I should just pare the lineup down to like three. And then I'm like, well, what three would it be? I'm like, oof, can we have a rotation? um, and I know it's, there are ones that I would certainly get rid of, or, or not discontinue, get rid of. I'll take synonyms for 200, please. But then there's like a core group that I would be like, that one. But anyway, nobody's asking me to do that, and so these are just things I think about when the power goes out. But I don't really set out to make new models. Don't you want to push your creativity? No, I just want to get these guitars built. Really? That's not true. I do want to push, create. I think that I don't have the luxury of time to do that stuff. Synonym buns for breakfast. That was my old stripper name when I worked at It's Raining Men. Synonym buns. I wasn't very good. I would only get like the Thursday afternoon shifts. Not even if I was lucky. I was like opening, so it's like 10:30 in the morning. He's done at noon, good times. I think that is the trouble. Instead of making a core of good models, a lot of people make shit tons of models averagely. Huh. It's an interesting point. I think, I'm going to leave this up. Here's a little something I can yammer on about. There are models that, at least there are styles, that I think you have to have. If you don't have to, I think that if your intent is to be, I don't know. I like words like successful or for-profit business come to mind, but it's not. As I'm thinking these things and then considering saying these things, then I'm also thinking of like, well, think about this brand or this brand or this brand, and yeah. So like maybe you don't have to, but I think that for what I want to do, I have to have certain model. Specifically like something like the 624. I don't think I need to have the 622. And when I say that, I'm not like, oh, I hate these things. Because like, I don't. And whenever I play mine, I'm always like, oh yeah, it's a fun little guitar. So like, that's kind of, the point. But that, where I'm going now kind of segues into Keith's question. Is it any different than a musician who feels compelled to play some core songs? You want to be creative, but not for the sake of just making more stuff. Maybe. I think that, but as far as, stretching out creativity and stuff like that, I certainly can do that. Obviously, it's my company. I can make whatever guitars I want to make, and if nobody buys them, then I need to do something else. But that's like why sometimes I'll do like, in the past, I've done things like I've made models just to kind of blow off steam. Like a Nice Man, for example. And or the Comet. I mean, granted, I made that specifically for NAMM, but we'll make more. It's there are some things that I have still had to do in order to make them without driving myself crazy. It's not driving myself crazy. It's just like the Comet is, to me, if I'm going to make more of them, it's a neck through guitar, and neck through guitars are a pain in the ass for me to make because they are very far outside of our normal build methods process. Sure. And there's this little quirk in the machine, the CNC, that like makes it's not a problem with the drawing. It's that there's something, I think, like in one of the screws where it doesn't want to go above a certain height if I'm running a specific program. And like, for example, por ejemplo, bet you didn't know I spoke Spanish. I don't. So let's say, CNC talk, everybody. Let's say we're just going to machine the back of the neck. Well, not obviously, but for illustration purposes, I don't happen to just have an unshaped neck here. So I've got to, we're going to use a complete guitar. The neck is not shaped while it's in the body. Ooh, let's get rid of that. So nobody cares. Everybody knows you're really fucking old. Oh, okay. So we've got the neck shaft on the table, and starts back here, does the little yoink 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 yoink, and now it comes up here and starts on the yoink yoink, and it's doing the backs and forths of the back of the headstock. This used to be something I used to do in a separate process, or for our Canadian and British friends, process. However, I've been working with a wonderful person who has been helping me with improved toolpath techniques, methodologies, and I need a third. Techniques, methodology, schemes, sure. To cut the back of the head surface. Invariably, once the bit, so it's going like this, kind of leveling this out, and it's doing it on this 10-degree angled plane. Whenever it gets to 1 5/8 of an inch above the table surface, it won't go higher than that. It stays on that plane. Spell all that. Shit, what do I need to spell? I am human spell check. So this little quirk where so it'll stay and it'll keep going like into this plane. So like this whole part here goes bye-bye. So I stop it when it gets to this point, and then I do another way to flatten the rest of it. Same thing with a neck through, the blank is full thickness. And once it gets to here, like it'll start on this side. Well, okay, for illustration purposes, let's say it starts over here and the bit comes down and starts, and it's a round over bit, a ball nose bit. So it's doing this side, And in the toolpath, it wants to do one side first, and then it'll kind of come over and it'll start doing the other side. And then it'll eventually kind of work out this middle part, and then it'll go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Once we get to here and it wants to come onto this side, it won't go higher than 1 5/8, which is a problem because full thickness is 1 3/4. Sometimes even thicker when you have a neck through blank with an angle. And that adds a whole bunch of other processes to making neck throughs on the CNC. I have to figure out why it's doing that. And I think there is there might be something in one of in the Z screw that might be a little bit worn or something like that. So like one of the things that we could do is we could put like risers on the table. Like maybe let's just put let's stack like 4 inches of spoil board on top, flatten it all out, and see if it kind of gets it to clear that point. Anyway, it's stuff that I have to figure out. How did we get out of this? I know how we got into this. And so I haven't had the time to figure that out and to fix that. But once we do, then like making neck throughs is gonna be a fucking breeze. I think. Anyway, stretching out creatively. Yeah, I do get little moments of that. But this all kind of goes back to like, I really wasn't planning on adding more models to the lineup, but here we are. And the Astro, I like it. It kind of happened. I was taking a class, and I think I've talked about this already. I was taking a class, a rhino class. I see a rhinoceros. And that's the program that we use for CAD drawing all this stuff. And this one is specifically related for guitars, so we needed, guitars to work with. I've already got models of all of my stuff thanks to my pal Adam Bath. There's lots of questions. Yeah, see, there's we'll get to it. And it's going to get real nerdy. Shit, what was I saying? So I was taking this class, and we need to draw a guitar, and I'm like, I don't really want to use what I've already got because it's already done, and so needed something. So then the Astro kind of came into being, and I had no intent whatsoever to use it. But as the first day kind of went on, I'm like, I don't hate that. And if I don't hate it, that's a good sign. So here it is. And so now it exists. I do have some more thoughts for the Astro. I've shared some pictures of it. The first one is, it's done because Adam played it last night. The second one is on its way to paint. It's getting the same materials with the exception of the fretboard. And it's going to get the same color. It's going to look just like that. And my plan is to have that one at NAMM. But I do want to do another. I want to make a carved top version of it. And basically, I would just take the carved top from a 71 Trella and adapt it for the Astro's shape. The nice thing is, when the carved top, with like surfaces and stuff like that, you can kind of explode them and extend them out. and it'll follow that plane and that sort of thing. So we've done that, and so things that I got to figure out about that model is what's the right bridge for it? A non-Floyd bridge, because we made two with a Floyd. I've got to have some sort of non-Floyd option. And so I'm trying to think of what that will look like, because in my brain, there's a lot of visual space in the bridge and the last, the lower portion of that body shape. There's a lot of surface area. And a small bridge, I think you kind of need something with a footprint, a decent sized footprint. It would be easiest for me to do a wraparound, but I don't know how that's going to look. We can make one out of foam and see how that goes. But yeah, I mean, it would absolutely be easiest for me to do the wraparound because, or quite frankly, any of the other bridges that we currently use, which is what I'll probably wind up doing, because, I already know what those geometric values are and that sort of thing. So like, if we make when it comes down to it, a carved top Astro isn't really any different than what a 24 fret 71 Trello would be, because the body thicknesses are the same. It shares the same kind of carved top, so that means it would require the same neck angle. We're using the same, the neck perimeter. I don't mean the back shape, like the perimeter of the neck, the shape of the entire neck blank is the same. A lot of my stuff is very standardized. For many reasons. But so now when I say that it's really no different from what a 24 fret 71 Trello would be, that doesn't mean I'm ever going to make a 24 fret 71 Trello, because I think that would look terrible. And I don't want that model to be that. But, when it comes down to it, that's really all it is. I don't know where I was going from that. But, so that's just kind of just sharing that there are things that I want to do with the Astro that I haven't yet. And, I hope that people like it. I think that people seem to. Look, David, I'm going to see you Monday morning. David. Yes, you think there's a physical problem with the screw in the Z-axis? I think there might be. So how are you doing pickup routes if you're stuck at 1 5/8? So here's the thing, and this is also how it depends on. So we have that clearance based on 1 5/8 from where you set your Z height. So if I'm shaping the back of a neck, the neck blank is face down on the table, and we touch off on the table surface, because we're saying, make this model. Here's your Z0, and it's going to go up from the table. Whereas if I'm making a body, and you can do this a bunch of different ways, it's much easier for me, which is what I'm interested in. It's much easier for me to, like, we're doing things with bodies. So we're talking pickup cavities, bridge cavities, all that, all of the things that involve making a body, that the Z height is the top of the body surface. So then it's going down. We don't have any problems with that. It's the going that high up. So like if I want to use a fly cutter to, if I've got like a body blank that's rough and I need to flatten it out to 1 3/4, I would touch, the body blank is on the table. I would touch off on the surface of the table, not the surface of the top, because I want this thing, which is 2 inches thick, to be or it starts out 2 inches thick. I want this to be 1 3/4. So it's the way that the drawing is, the surface that it's going to flatten or to create is in the drawing 1 3/4 above the surface, the Z0 surface. This is way too early to be talking about this sort of shit, but that's kind of why. So we only run into that problem in those circumstances. Yeah. Oh wait. Your sound effects. The sound effect. I don't know which one I was doing, but maybe was that the little. Yeah, that's how it sounds. It's not loud at all. Yeah, tons. Wouldn't the wood also have to be free of defects too? Rats. I don't know what this question is in response to. Sorry, some body shapes are basically commodities at this point. I don't know what. I should have kept better track of the comments. Sorry. Hey, Greg. John, good morning to you. Gosh, Mike, I'm sorry. I don't know what question this was in response to, but I will do my best to, if you don't mind clarifying. Could you use a shorter bit to bypass the height restriction? Well, I do have one, but the problem is for something like that operation, it's best to have something a little bit longer because it's coming down so far, and and then joint. You don't want to have collisions with the spindle and the part because that would be really bad. Yeah. That's what seems to be the deal. Do we get credit for a geometry class? Only if I get credit for a geometry class, because I never took geometry. I am terrible at math. I am absolutely horrible at math. All I ever did, through high school, was in math class. And see, I can't even say it. In math class was ditch. That irony is not lost on me. All through school, I was really terrible in math. I just don't, not good at it at all. Very frustrating. Yeah. So, Astro, yes. I like the Astro. I think it's kind of fun. I think that it has the potential to reach a wider group of, a wider group of the guitar buying public than maybe some of our more core models. Because you know what? This is a good question, and I meant to respond to this. In the forum in which it was posted, which was in a Facebook comment, but was talking about. So there was a post that went out, just a question, just we're just asking questions, kind of like, if you're, gosh, I don't even really remember. It's super great. This is gonna be great. Basically asking for, what you look for in a guitar that you're not able to play before. If you're gonna buy a guitar, that you haven't played yet, what are the things that are important to you? Or I think that was something like that. And someone had commented on why they haven't bought a Sully guitar yet. And that's not really what I was looking for, but I mean, I certainly appreciate the insight. Um, the title of the class is "I'm Way Too Pretty for Geometry." Uh, Not really, no. But you're my friend, so just message me. Just text me. And so there's some nice insight, and whenever one person had mentioned like everybody bases their neck shape off of a fender, which is bullshit. I'm like, not really. Um, but it's tough to. And anyway, so someone that had kind of shared, their insight, and that's the reason that I haven't bought a Sully yet is because basically kind of mentioning, the ones that have been on reverb have been there forever. And, then also kind of commenting on resale value, which valid points. Believe me, no one takes the resale value more to heart than me. But I remember actually recently I was chatting with somebody about that, especially on customs, because I see what things kind of move for, and certainly way less than what a new one would cost. And I'm kind of like, man, and the person I was chatting with was like, I think that's a really good value, actually. Like, I think that resale, that's pretty good, because like, dude, if you think about, you buy a car, and as soon as you as soon as you drive it off the lot, it's not, so we're just kind of talking about, resale value in general is, sticking with the car thing. A lot of people say, just never buy the first year of something, get the used version, and let the first owner take the hit, and that sort of thing. So I think some of that is true. I think one of the things that contributes to that is, like, all 17 of you that are watching know who I am. I'm tiny. Nobody knows who Sully guitars are. I may have a decent social media presence, but on the grander scale, I am nothing. And I don't mean this in like, oh, I suck. I mean, we'll talk about that later. But for this part of the conversation, I am like that. So, if that is a factor. And talking about the things that have been on reverb for a while, they're all really polarizing shapes. You'll notice, I appreciate it, but I disagree. Thank you, Dave. I really appreciate that. Shit, what was I saying? The things that are on reverb and have been on reverb for a long time are pretty polarizing shapes. If you notice that, if you notice that 622s don't really stick around very long, 624s don't usually stick around very long. However, I've got, the guitars that I have available. Number one, like on reverb, they are not priced to sell. I'll be the first person to tell you that. Would I take less than the advertised prices that are on reverb? Yes. So there is that. A lot of those shapes. So there's a couple of Ravens. There's a Concorde. There's a real weird 92. There's a 625, which, I'm kind of surprised that I still have. But those are all really polarizing shapes. I often get, well, I'm not really much of a V person, but that looks cool. Congratulations, you're kind of a V person. Um, Ravens, those things, we're already starting from a point where you have a body shape that looks like someone left Gumby on the radiator, and he got kind of melty. Um, and I know that there's a dealer that's got there's a strawberry milk Stardust. Again, it's pink. Um, not, I mean, finally, the more pastel colors have kind of come into vogue. Thanks for catching up. I am joking, but so that's nice. But like again, I think a Stardust has more. Stardust has a decent first time reaction kind of thing to it. In other words, like people that have never seen them before are usually pretty kind. But so anyway, these things, all the stuff that's available right now, yeah, it's some weird shit. So I mean, I do kind of get that, but when it comes down to it, on a resale value, on a custom, some of it just in general, it's not just me. I mean, there are factors that make it a little bit on the lower side, but like you're gonna run into that. So here I am answering a question that nobody asked here. So anyway, here's an interesting point. Yeah, and yeah, the I know that the drawing is correct because like it doesn't. It does this on multiple different drawings. So, but yeah, I'll try to slow it down. But then on the other hand, we're not really, this machine that I have, like they don't recommend running more than running faster than 100 inches per second. So, the Laguna machine, it's served me very well for the time I've had it for 4 years. And when I have had some issues, some were, my own doing, but their support is amazing. So that's been great. Is there an upside to not being as large as the companies you compare yours to? If there is, I don't know what it is. I think maybe in theory I can. Maybe I can get like something like a new model. I can do something like that faster, but larger companies that have things like marketing budgets and other people to handle other aspects of the business. This is not a call for, does someone come work for me because I can't afford you. So, I think we're doing pretty well with what we've got. And that's all you can do, right? But if there are advantages, I'm sure there are some, and it probably takes someone, to say, well, you can do this and you can do this and you can do this. But, I can't generally see it at the moment because I'm faced with, part of doing this is doing this literally, which I know nobody asked me to do, but I like to do it. And this is actually good for me. And so if there's a benefit for a larger benefit, then great. But, when I go back to talking about, or like I was earlier, talking about like creative freedom and stuff like that, I don't really have the time to get into that mindset of doing, I'm going to be creative. I'm going to, I know that you can relate to that. So it's kind of like, why don't you play guitar more? And it's like, well, I want to, but so that's why I like, I get happy when I get inspired by little things that I see out and about. And one thing that is something that I kind of feel like has happened a little bit more recently. I think That's nice. But yeah, that is one thing that I like. One reason that I like going to art galleries um, is because I get out of my frame of creativity, or at least this. God, I'm going to say this: the sandbox I'm used to playing in. I'm so sorry. And get into another, and it's all stuff that I can relate to. But things pop up. Things usually hit me that way, and I like that. Um, Customs in general across most brands seem to struggle in resale. That is true. That's what originally drew me to your guitars, the body shapes and colors. Thank you. I appreciate that. That truly means a lot to me. I think of the Raven as a tribute to the back of a '63 Vet. Completely not what I was thinking. However, that's I think everybody's favorite Corvette is a '63 Vet with the split back window, and they want it in silver. Um, but yeah, I mean it's those rule. Thank you. And yeah. We're all here for your group therapy. It's good for us too. Yeah, it makes you feel better about yourself. God, Lisa, oh my God, this guy's fucking problems. It's good to break up 13. Yes, that is true. How about the ice rink I'm used to skating in? Sure. I scared Mrs. Sully when I ice skate because I do it with chainsaws. Let's see. Oh, really? You prefer the open window? Huh. 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 Interesting. I like a lot of different Corvettes. The ones that I don't care for are through the 90s and the 2000s. Like the 60s, like the 70s. The one that Stingray that Chris Tucker had in Rush Hour. It's like 74, 75, something like that. I liked when they changed in like 82, 81, 82, maybe 82, 82 C's, right? I like those. And then they kind of stuck with that kind of vibe for maybe about 20 years or so. I like the last couple. 84? No way. Really? Really? Huh. 80? Really? See, now, wow. Okay. Huh. All right. I liked those. And but yeah, not so much the 90s and the 2000s. The recent ones, like the new ones, the ones that look like they're Italian. My goodness, yes, please and thank you. That would be on my list if it's like if Mrs. Sully and I do talk about winning Powerball, because I mean it's fun. We all do that. You're driving into work and you're thinking about what you would do if you all of a sudden didn't have to, where you could do whatever you wanted and it would be fine. I think I think about cars that I would want to get. I wouldn't go ape shit. I say that I wouldn't go ape shit, but I probably would. I've got ape shit tendencies. That's the name of your solo album. Yeah, the new Corvettes would definitely be on a list of what I would want to have one of those. I wouldn't get a jet. I want to get a jet, but I would get like a NetJets kind of membership, because like you don't want to deal with the upkeep of a private jet. You want to just take a jet. Yeah, I would do that. I always wanted the 63 in Daytona blue, metallic midnight blue for no. Huh. Daytona Blue. I'm gonna have to look that up. Because I've got a Trella. Like I saw a '63 last year. I saw a '63 that it was like this gorgeous blue, and I looked it up. I'm like, oh my god, that's Pelham Blue. That's Pelham Blue. Doesn't look green like some 335. Huh. Gorgeous. There is a Trella that's gonna be Pelham Blue. Oops. Chevy tossed around versions of the variation for current, but for 30 foot, glad they finally did it. Really? Huh. Yeah, see, Travis knows what's up. You want the jet, but you don't want to have the. Here we go, Jeff. Trellin Blue. Like it. So I think I would get one of those Corvettes. And then I would, one of the things that and I would want like one of the Smoking the Bandit Trans Ams, but like, I don't think I could fit in one. So, and I know it could be like well, you could have it modified. I don't want to do that. But then again, maybe I would. These are the things I think about. We would get, and I know that everybody's like, oh, take the lump sum. Take the annuity, because like, that would be smart for me. Because if I was just given like, here it is right now, guess who's going to be broke in a year? So, have the, get the annuity. Hey, Will. So, yeah, like a picnic blanket. We've covered a lot of ground. We still got, we got a little bit over 7 minutes left. So, but it would be a fun year. This is something like I do think about this a lot, probably, which is unhealthy, but Keith, here we go. It's easier to park the vet than the jet. Yeah, it's true. See, Keith, you're a problem solver. See you, Travis. Thanks for watching. I do think about that a lot. I think that Sully guitars would still exist in a different way, but Sully guitars would still exist. I think that we'd put a lot into marketing. we certainly would. We would put a lot into marketing, we would have a real facility. It's not that we don't have a real facility. We would have a proper facility. I don't know how involved I would be in it. But it would, it would continue. And then I would probably move to France. So, let's see. Just saw a video from the guys of Skillet and Disciple watching Striper. Your V is killer. Thank you. I appreciate that. I like revolutions. Revolutions are fun. There aren't many revolutions. Speaking of customs, that's a model I would really like to make more of them. And there's this one. Okay. I know that it has more than that because I've seen it. Anyway, we're gonna move on. I forget. Yeah. All right. We're winding down. Yes, I'm getting the pop-up. Your live stream will end in 4 minutes and 55 seconds. Does anybody have any questions? Anything you want me to talk about real quick? Like that. Probably not, because you probably would have asked them by now. So Yeah. Astro, we'll see an Astro at NAMM. There is a guitar that is done and that will be at NAMM that is going to be very, very difficult for me not to share pictures of because I love it so much. I don't want to keep it, which is weird. Not because I'm like, man, it's okay, I guess I want to keep that one. It definitely, I was talking about Revolutions. It definitely ranks in, like, I don't know. I don't know that I would have a top 10 list of my favorite guitars that I've made. Because as soon as I would, that would be a rotation. It's in the rotation of the top 10 guitars that I've ever made. I really, really, really like this guitar that I'm not going to show photos of. I know I'm really hyping this thing up. It is easily one of the prettiest guitars I've ever made. And it's nice when that happens. And when I say that it's pretty, it's not like whenever I've tried, and I've talked about this, whenever I've tried to make like gorgeous luxury guitars in the past, it always fails miserably. I mean, like the guitars themselves are always like, yeah, that thing's rad. Except for that Rosewood Raven. I'm still mad at that thing. I'm gonna probably get rid of it. They always kind of turn out like, I'm like, yeah, man, that thing's super dope. And like, that's like a high ticket guitar. Never works out that way. Anywho, I saw that too. And along with, I noted there was a little offhanded comment that I heard. Let's see. Z-Axis is my new stripper name. I'm here for it. Will, watch the live stream that on the Sully Guitars page from last night because you will hear it and see it. Adam played it last night at his gig. John, you saw one. You watched that video. You commented on it. It was the red guitar Adam was playing. Keith, later. Let's see. Semi-hollow carved top Astro baritone next. If we I would be into doing a semi-hollow guitar as long as we're not talking like the construction that like a 335 where it's multi-ply and arched on the outside and inside, and that is one of those things that I'm too pretty to do. I don't mean it like that. It's just that's like making it completely different. Like I don't even know how to make that. I've almost just sent that to you like 4 times. Yes, he does. Hank, yes, you're correct. I had to look it up online to understand its origin, that type of instrument. I saw that, no close-ups. Dude, I was in the balcony. I've posted pictures of it in my stories. Looking forward to the upcoming conspiracy series run. Yeah, me too. That can be done. Roswell Rhodes. Yeah, I had one. Not one of the aluminum ones, but I had one of. I had a black one. It was cool, tiny but cool. Yes. All right. That's it. That's it. I'm gonna go daydream about renting a jet. I hope you have a lovely week. Yeah, we'll do this again real soon. Thanks for watching.